Hey, you guys. So, welcome to Becoming the Podcast. So, as always, I'm one of your hosts, Micaiah, also known as MB, and we have our other host here, Janelle. Whoop, whoop.
Hey.
Okay, you guys. So, if you haven't listened to this podcast, I'm going to just give you the brief rundown because I really want to get into today's topic. So, we're a podcast. We drop episodes every Thursday, talk a little bit about anything and everything, but our main thing here is to help people on their journey to become. We leave that open-ended for our audience. So, whether you're working on physical fitness, mental health, well-being, financial investments in your future, whatever it be, we're here to help you on that journey. And then hopefully you're on the journey to also working to become the best version of yourself. So as always, we are not experts here, but we are here to do the work. Shout out to our homies, everyone that is our loyal listeners, our loyal watchers. We ride with you. We mess with you. We appreciate you so much. So thank you for always continuing to support us here over at Becoming the Podcast. But you guys, we say it week in, week out. We are here to share our personal stories and our personal journeys with you guys. So just be honest. Janelle hooked me up this morning and was like, girl, I got something to talk about. I was like, yes, let's have the conversation on the podcast. Let's share something real about, her journey. And I'm really just going to give it over to Janelle. This week, we're going to be talking a lot about paying attention to warning signs. I know Janelle has a specific situation that she wants to talk about to kind of help people through their own personal journeys with that. So I'm super interested to hear more about that situation. And I'm really just going to leave it up to her. So I know we're going to talk about like toxic relationships and situationships, you guys. So just to give you a little bit of a preview and then how to ultimately cut those things off. So Janelle, give us a preview of the situation.
All right, y'all. So like MB said, we are very open, honest, and transparent. And to do so and to really connect with you guys, we have to be this way even when it hurts, even when it pertains to matters of the heart. So today I will be actually diving into one of my personal experiences that I've been going through and has, overcame. And I just wanted to get you guys to really understand and pay attention to warning signs of a toxic relationship or situationship, and to ultimately cut things off. All right. Again, I'm gonna let MB kind of facilitate the direction here a little bit.
I got you, girl. I got
you. I'm definitely ready to get you guys into my story, my journey. Okay.
We ready. I'm ready to hear more. And then put my little 2 cents in. Shoot, I might have some side commentary for y'all today.
Look, we love it.
Mm-hmm. But girl, go ahead. Tell us, give us some background information. What is the situation that we're referencing to? Share as much as you want to share.
All right, cool. So, all right, over the past 2 years, I've been in a lovers and friends situationship, like my boo thing type of ordeal. Okay. Mm-hmm. So when I first met this person, I was going through a new phase, a transition in a new career, in my pursuit for my degree. And ultimately I was just in a good, headspace.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, it's like, it's so true when they say sometimes people come in your life where you least expect it or when you're not paying attention. You get what I'm saying? And I was truly focused on Janelle and not looking for anyone. Mm-hmm. But the tale of you wasn't looking for them, but they was looking at you is what ended up happening.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, fast forward, the flirting happened. We're going out on dates. We're spending time with each other, etc.
And this was over the entire 2-year span.
It was. We had breaks in between. I'll say that.
Okay.
We definitely had like breaks in between where I'd be like, you know what? I don't like what you're doing. I ain't gonna talk to you. I ain't gonna deal with you. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We had a lot of that going on. So
okay. So how did we get? How did we get to this point, and what is this point specifically?
Right now, this point is just the end.
Okay.
And this point is basically looking back at it now. You know how sometimes it's a process that you have to go through, and This is just, again, the journey through everything from how it first started to the ending point.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go back into detail, y'all. Okay.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because this might help you go into a little bit more detail. What, I know you said there were some breaks in between, so speak to that. What kind of caused some of the breaks? I'm assuming there was breaks for reasons. And then talk a little bit more about like why this is the final point, because you said this is the end. So what got us? Why is this the end? What happened that made you say, I'm walking away from this?
All right, y'all. So recently, right? This is the last little straw. Okay. So me not knowing the individual that I'm referring to recently got back with somebody.
Okay.
And to come up and find out that he and her are now having a baby on the way. And let me just say this. We had some dealings. You get what I'm saying? During this process of, quote unquote, her being pregnant and et cetera, and me not knowing about it. You get what I'm saying?
Right. So he was messing with two women at the same time.
Basically. It's one thing to know and to know exactly what's going on, but to be left in the dark where you be like, shit, I gotta find out on social media this shit happening. You know what I'm saying? And like, oh, you wasn't even man enough to even tell me to my face. That's the least thing you could have did out of respect. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was the the last little straw. So now we're gonna go back to, you said how it started.
Right. So let me recap so I understand and the audience understands. Right now, he has another woman that is pregnant. He's having a baby with. And he did not make you aware previously that he was messing with someone else. And he also didn't make you aware of the baby. Before we get back how it started, how did you find out about the baby?
Girl, I found out on social media. Like, legit, y'all. You know how you randomly be strolling through Snapchat?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing, oh, it's a gender reveal, right? And so I'm sitting here like, oh shit, that's dope. I wonder who, having a baby. Needless to say, I have no fucking idea, y'all. No idea what's going on or what's gonna come up. So finally, I'm sitting here like, well, shit, I know just about half of these motherfuckers is here at this gender reveal. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, well, shit, who having a baby? So then I'm like, just, tapping through. I'm like, wow, mind blown.
That's crazy. So he didn't even tell you. He didn't have the decency to tell you, someone that, you guys have been messing with each other on and off 2 years. I'm assuming there's like a friendship there. And he didn't have the decency to tell you. Right.
Look, I would have thought we built that at least, right?
Right.
But yeah. And how can I say it? It's almost like you really see someone's true colors. And you be like, damn, really? That whole phrase of it's the audacity for me, but it really was the audacity, because it's like, damn, you think of me that low and that low of regard to not even mention it.
Yeah, that's gotta be hurtful.
Give a clue to it. Yeah, very much so. So you guys,
yeah, catch us up. So how do we talk about the in-betweens?
Yeah. Okay, y'all. So I ain't gonna lie. You remember when I said that we're gonna go back to the beginning. Again, the flirting happened, we're going out on dates, spending time with each other, going on trips, etc., etc. But where I made the mistake was not stating what I wanted. And I jokingly called this, quote unquote, my boo thing. Y'all know that song, My Boo Thing by Bert Simmons? So, and when this situation first started, we were in the car and the song came on. And I jokingly, and I feel like unintentionally, stated, "You're my boo thing." And let me just say this: you have to be careful at what you manifest and speak out loud. And let me just say this. I'm gonna give y'all some backdrop to it. So if you look into some of the lyrics, it states that like it's crazy, no titles, but you're my baby when I'm idle. That's your time. Okay, that's
Mm.
just one line. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So another line is I know we ain't got no strings attached, but this could be the perfect match. And girl,
Mm.
yo, we ain't no cutty buddies, but this is way more than that, right?
Right.
And hold on, this is the last line, y'all. Cause y'all gonna feel my drift, okay? And then the last line it was like, and when your friends ask, I'm not your man, just the closest thing that you have. But those lines alone said that I'm okay with no title. You know,
Right.
we are going to display as if we're a couple, but we not.
Right.
I spend time with you when I feel like it or when it's convenient for me. And like I said, it just ultimately showed that hey, we're not together, but we're gonna act as if we are.
Mm-hmm.
So I unintentionally stated that I'm okay with this. This is what I wanted, and I'm going for it, even though this was nowhere near what I wanted.
Right.
So I say this to say you really have to be careful with what you speak out loud. You know what I'm saying? You really do. And at that time, like I said, I wasn't thinking about this shit. You get what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? You know how you be like, shit, that's my boo thing. You get what I'm saying? Or whatever like that. I was not even thinking about it. But when they say you have to be careful with what you say, that is
Definitely.
totally true.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, Micaiah, ever since you know me, I've always been the relationship type where I'm with this person, I'm only committed to this person. There's no outsiders joining in. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, you know, I've always been that type anyway. But as MB knows, you know, is a lot can transpire when you allow other people inside that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's um other people coming in that shouldn't have no business coming in, whether that's oh you possibly exposed me to something that I wasn't aware of,
Mm-hmm.
or the simple fact of the what ifs, what's going on. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not getting a whole vibe from you or I'm getting mixed signals from you. You have to really be careful in regards to situationships
Right.
because that's exactly what, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and put a title on that. It was a
Mm-hmm.
situationship. And was I looking for a situationship? Hell no. Nah. Again, even MB can testify I wasn't looking
Yeah.
for a situationship, you know? Um, but again, I open the jar for that. So what you speak out does have a consequence later on.
Yeah.
Um,
That's crazy that you mentioned that because I think a lot of people don't think about that when they're, jokingly saying something or, they're maybe not even saying something like how you said, like just hearing lyrics in a car and kind of just, having that vibe and not having that other conversation of really like digging into what you want. Like people just take things and they run with it.
mm-hmm,
So it's always great when first of all, you deserve it,
mm-hmm,
you want it and you should expect it for your relationship, or if you want a relationship, have that conversation. Like you have to have that conversation. And be careful what you do put out there or you do agree to, because sometimes again we'll agree to things jokingly or like, yeah, I'm fine with that, because Janelle wasn't looking for anything, so she didn't need to have the conversation because she wasn't looking into anything. But without her having that conversation, it ended up into this situationship. So I think that is so key. But I didn't know what you were going to say next, but I wanted to ask you this. What were some of the other signs that you saw throughout these 2 years of like red flags or anything, um, other than obviously the baby situation? Because I'm assuming there was other signs or red flags there.
girl. And B, I'm gonna tell the people because you
Mm-hmm.
already know this story. And the crazy thing, y'all, it was a spook situation. All right. Okay, I'm gonna just say this. Guy has a funny way of putting life into perspective, and
Mm.
he definitely tries to steer you right. You get what I'm saying? Even when you want to go live, he gonna try to steer you right. Okay.
Right.
So again, I talked to MB about this encounter, and so one day my heart was just like heavy, and it was heavy due to some events that transpired with him, myself, and a third party. So basically, It was a situation in which a shorty was just giving me problems at my job over him. And again, at the time, I was just like, shit. First time, I don't even understand, like, what's your, your issue, your beef with me, for one. But for two, I'm sitting here like, I don't want this to interfere with my job. Because
Right.
everybody knows when it comes to my professional life and my business and my money, I don't got time for none of the shenanigans, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I had called my mom and I was like, where you at? She says, I'm on my way to church. And so it was on a Tuesday, y'all, for some type of convention that was going on at the church. And I actually had no intention of going, but I was led to go. Okay, so that's number one. I had no intentions of going because I knew about it, but I had no intentions to go, but I was led. Okay.
Right.
So fast forward the sermon. So the preacher stated that, hey, if someone had anything heavy on their hearts, girl, that was number two, because I told you I had something heavy on my heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Key words. If they had anything heavy on their hearts and anything that they needed prayer for, to come up and receive prayer.
Okay.
And this ain't, your regular altar, prayer, nothing like that. But this is the prayer in which, they lay hands and they spoke a prophetic word. And so one evangelist, that's what she did. She spoke a prophetic word to me.
Mm-hmm.
And again, y'all, um, I never mentioned a word to her about what I've been going through, what I've been dealing with. Because I just don't tell my business to any and everybody.
Right.
Y'all know I just don't do that. But she read me, y'all, and gave me the warning. And let me just say, a prophetic word comes from God, y'all. And that's when I say she had no idea. You get what I'm saying? I never talked to her about it. So this is how you know when it's coming directly from the creator himself. So anywho, she said, the man that you're dealing with is a bad boy and you're a good girl. And then she continues and says, he's not good for you and that this relationship will not go anywhere. And at that time, she said, you're in a spiritual battle and you're fighting from what your mind, emotion, body, aka your flesh says,
Right.
versus what your spirit says. And she said, the more I held on, the more I would hurt, and that I needed to let him go. But remember, y'all, I said God will allow some things to happen to force you to let go. And in that moment, when she was telling me this, I'm like, oh my God.
You speaking right to me. Shoot.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like you got the clarity, the assurance, and the confirmation that, hey, I ain't crazy, and that what I want to do and what I don't want to do is right here. Right. And you have that option. But again, like I said, I've been going through this toxic relationship because he wasn't the one for me. But again, it takes a long time for you to let go. And I'm gonna just be honest. Initially, I did not listen to the word, y'all. I was disobedient and continued dealing with him even after all the foolishness that took place. You get what I'm saying? So remember, she informed me that God will allow some things to take place. So one of those things was, again, first one was the woman caused me issues at my job. The second was I thought he gave me STD. Yeah, I really did think he gave me STD, but it was a yeast infection. But I'm going to tell y'all this. When a man has multiple partners that you're unaware of, or isn't cleaning efficiently, it causes your pH balance to be off.
Right.
So just to let y'all know, again, these are warning signs. All right. That's number two. And your MB already knows me. You give me anything, baby, I'm coming for you. I'm ready to kill you type stuff. But I'm gonna try not to commit murder, but that's the plan in my head. I'm going to kill you. Number three was I thought I was pregnant by him, and Lord knows I have vowed to never be a baby mama. Okay? Right. That's just one thing I never believed in becoming. Okay, I'm just be real. And if you're a baby mama, that's, hey, that was you and your decision. But as for me, that was a no.
Right. You didn't want it for you. Yeah.
All right. So number 4, again, like I said, it was always an on and off type of ordeal. But this man publicly stated that he was in a relationship with another woman while he was just with me, literally.
Hold
And
on,
that one,
when
huh?
did this happen? When did this, was this another woman than the baby he's
No,
having?
no, this is the same woman, girl. This
Oh,
same
okay,
woman.
gotcha.
But when it happened, that one I feel like really hurt. It came from my jugular. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Oh, wow." And not only was it the audacity for me, but again, it was just a lack of trust. Um, in like I was just stating, I don't mess with anybody. If I'm dealing with you, I'm only dealing with you.
Right.
So the fact that that was compromised to me, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that I go for in any relationship, whether that's boyfriend, girlfriend, or even this situationship with this individual. I've
Mm-hmm.
never been okay with, oh, I'm finna go sleep with this one, this one. I've never been okay with that.
Right.
Number 5, y'all. I entertained him after that situation ended. So they went back on this, I guess, a break or whatever the case may have been. I don't know what to
Him and
call
the girl that he publicly said he was in a relationship with.
it.
Is that
Yes.
where? Okay.
And something happened that I didn't want to happen. And no one knows about that, but God and my mama. So I'm not gonna talk about number 5 all the way. But number 6 was the whole recently have a baby on the way with the individual that he ended with the last time
Mm-hmm.
and got back together with.
So let me ask you that, because that's crazy. There has been 6 like red flag situations, and I feel like this is
Yes.
something that's more common than we think. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is something that a lot of women go through. So can you talk about like either like the ties you felt or the reasons why you stayed in the situation, even though there was like a few different types of warning signs that popped up?
Yeah. How can I say? Sometimes your head is just clouded.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I say clouded, I feel like it's you see the potential, see how he is and how he can be. Um, you see the bad and then you see the good in him. I'm just
Right.
keeping 100. But also when you're in deep, and I mean in deep where you're invested, emotionally, mentally, physically, it takes time to let go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know me, MB, I don't go into anything halfway, but all the way.
Right.
And when you care for someone, and you had love for someone, you just don't walk away immediately.
Right.
Um, even when they don't have the best intentions for you, or isn't the man for you.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is because MB knows when I say MB knows me, she does know me. But what I'm saying is, if I care for you, I don't mind cooking for you. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
MB knows if MB was to come visit me, I'm gonna have some fresh baked cookies for her.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? If you
Mm-hmm.
sick, I'm gonna make sure you got some chicken noodle soup, and I'm gonna play as if I'm your doctor. I'm gonna make sure you got your medicine. I'm gonna make sure you good. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? If you need me to pray for you, I'm gonna pray for you. Why? Because I have that type of love for you.
Right.
If you need some clothes, I'll buy you some clothes. You get what I'm saying? Or I'm just a generous giver like that. And I feel like the generation of today and yesterday and whatever, but also how we was raised played a key part in that.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I want to say this was my first time ever being a fool for love, or what looked it or appeared to be love.
Right. But let's not say that, because you weren't a fool. This is something that again a lot of women go through.
Girl, you
You
know
just
me,
were
I'm
willing to
I'm
take the
transparent.
chance. You are, but
Look,
you were just, to be honest, no, really, I want you to put it in a different light, because you were just willing to take the chance, and you live and you learn. Like I'm
right.
assuming you're gonna take this situation, and the next situation that you go into, like you're gonna really be like, open, honest, like, hey, this is what I want, this is what I'm expecting. If you can't provide this for me, then maybe we don't even need to start this to begin with.
You're totally right. But the crazy thing is, you know my ex, Micaiah.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, one day he had hit me up, and it just happened that I was around this individual, and I didn't even talk about him in a negative, regard or anything.
Right.
But the crazy thing is, he said he ain't shit.
Your ex did?
Yes, hold on, you know this individual. You
Uh-huh.
get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's very blunt,
Mm-hmm.
very honest, and he just says what's on his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said that, I was like, at first I did kind of get defensive. I'm like, shit, don't be talking about him like that. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Like that,
right.
whoop, whoop, whoop. But he said something to me, and it kind of stuck. And he said, he ain't right for you. And he said it.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said, how sometimes you be like, oh, is this a jealousy thing? But it wasn't. It wasn't. You already
Right.
know we was best friends before we even got in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So when he said that, I took key to that. And he also made a statement where he was like, he's nowhere near what you deserve.
Right.
Nowhere near. And when you look back at it, you be like, damn, I really was a little crazy. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because how can I say it? When the signs is there, but then you got other people who don't know about the situation telling you,
Mm-hmm.
you be like, damn, I really was a fool. I wasn't listening. I wasn't paying attention, etc. But I just want to say this, y'all. When you envision a relationship, don't alter or change what you want because it's not coming at the speed that you want it. Or you feel that that dream or that fulfillment can happen because of the expectation that you set.
Mm-hmm.
I know that was a lot at one time. If you didn't get, you know what I'm saying, what I was
Girl, go
saying.
ahead and repeat it. Repeat it one more time for us.
But I'm being for real though. Never change what you envision in your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Never. And it took somebody to tell me that. Actually, the pastor, she said, "What is wrong with you?" She ain't say it, in a mean or negative way, but she was like, God will grant you the desires of your heart. He knows the desires of your hearts.
Mm-hmm.
So why even compromise what you want for something less than what you deserve?
Yep.
And what she said was, God wants this for you, but you settling for this. And like she said, help me understand. And that's true. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all see the meme where it was the big teddy bear and then the little bird. The little girl, she wanted to hold on to that little bird, but then God had this big bird, but she just didn't know it.
Yep.
And that's how it is with us.
Yep.
It's because, oh, this is right here. I like this. I like what we was doing. I like the vibe. I like the energy. Oh, and you fall in love with potential, but you can't get stuck in the potential spot.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go for what is and what's set in stone, boo. Um, and like I say, and let me just say this, y'all. Prior to that happening, it was just a weird situation where MB knows about this. It was a random guy. I ended up getting stuck in Kentucky, had a flat tire. Random guy um came through and he was like, "Hey ma'am, you need some help or whatever." When I say he was fine, y'all, he was he was fine as hell. Okay. But this man stayed with me, y'all. He stayed with me when the tow truck got there. He went to Walmart where they took my car. He stayed with me the whole entire time. And
Mm-hmm.
he was just a gentleman, y'all. Just a straight gentleman. And what ended up being found out was that his soror, well, his sister is my soror,
Mm-hmm.
and I know her. And he from New York, okay? So I never met him a day in my life. I didn't even know that they was brother and sister, okay? But let me just say this. He was such a gentleman and treated me with the utmost respect.
Right.
Um, and in that moment, I ended up having a dream about it. And in the vision that I had, it was basically saying, I showed you a glimpse of what a good relationship could be.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, it wasn't that interaction with that one guy, it wasn't a relationship. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it was the simple fact, the genuineness of it. You, I'm gonna just give y'all some more backdrop to that story.
Right.
We ended up going out. He paid for everything, y'all. Everything. Not only did he pay for my stuff, he paid for my for Ashley stuff. That's another one of close friends, Ashley. He paid for Ashley stuff. Then we went to Lexington to see my lawn sisters. He paid for their stuff.
He showed you what you deserve.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is the thing. Um and that was key. And I think God was really just trying to show me, if
Mm-hmm.
this random guy, I allowed this random guy to do all of these things for you, what makes you think that I won't do it for you when it comes to relationship for you and what
Right.
you want?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but I'm gonna just say this, y'all. Envision what you want, but
Mm-hmm.
before you get to that vision, you have to shut down what is not good for you. And in my
Mm.
situation, I didn't shut down what wasn't good for me, even though I got warning after warning after warning after warning. I was being hard headed like a badass child. I was being hard headed. But like I stated before, God allows some things to transpire to get you to let go of what needs to be let go.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was telling Micaiah, that recent announcement on social media that I had no recollection of, um, that needed to happen in order for me to really just draw the line of like, you X the fuck out,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that I'm letting you go for good type shit. All right.
Right.
Um, and also let me just say this, to go on to the next level, you just have to change what and who is around you. And so sometimes you have to let go of people who only have like a baby mama mentality, or who just want situationships. You have to let go or stop being around those people, because that's all what you're going to attract. So if
Mm-hmm.
you know you want to attract great relationships and great marriages, you need to hang out with Micah and Micaiah. You get what I'm saying?
I know that's right.
Me, I'm being very transparent and open.
Right.
You know, I love you and Micah. Micah's my brother, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
He treats my good sis very well. Okay,
You sure do. Mm-hmm.
he does, and I thank God that you have that. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But again, you have to change the environment in which you are. And even though this was a tough process, I thank God for the process.
Right. Yeah, girl, thank you so much. You guys, before I even get to thank you, I told you this whole episode we were letting Janelle have the floor so she can share this story because I think it was so important. There's so many people out here um just struggling in situationships, no matter who you're with, and don't know, they aren't able to see the light on the other side. And the main takeaway I got from this conversation is just listen to the signs. Like Janelle
Mhm.
literally talked about 6 big signs that she saw. And then it took her up to this last moment. And then she was able to share with us like why it took her this long. Like, because that's real. Like that's how a lot of other people are feeling when it comes to situationships. Like they feel like, hey, I've invested time in this person. We have good rapport. Like I see the potential in them. So why do I want to leave this to go to something else that I can't see? So I think that was
Mhm.
so important, and I just appreciate you so much for sharing your story. Um, I'm just going to open the floor back up one more time before we get off, you guys. Is there any lasting advice you have for someone who is going through a similar situation or any type of situationship? It doesn't have to just be romantic. Like even some of these friendships, they're not true friendships. Like people are
Mhm.
out here using you. So
Yes, that is totally true. Um, but like I tell, like Micaiah, of course, you know, we have this amazing friendship. But one key thing that I've always did was I do believe in being friends and close to best friends before taking a leap into any relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm also I agree with the notion of you have to see everybody in every season when they're mad, when they don't have no job, when they don't have no money. You got to see them when they go through sorrow. You really do have to see every season to see exactly what you're getting yourself involved with, and how they were raised. You get what I'm saying? That plays a key part in what a lot of people do.
Right.
And the thing is, let me just say, I feel like there's a lot of toxicness that this individual went through in his childhood, what he saw, and that has really affected the relationships that he, you know what I'm saying, that he now has.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to really uh put your big girl and big boy draws on and really be able to be like, you know what, that's not what I want to take into my kid's life or into my life. That's not what I want for me. So I, instead of going down the route that everybody else went down, I'm gonna go down this route.
Right.
um that's number one. But let me just say this, it takes the mind to push you to get to a place of satisfaction. So if you're not comfortable with where you are in that relationship or friendship, you're going to get to a place of being tired of where
Mm-hmm.
you are, and you're going to be like, oh, I'm not comfortable where I am, therefore some changes must have to, happen and take place in order me to progress to where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel like when that happens, that's when the true transformation really happens. And that's when the blessing comes. But again, you must have to you must have that change, that will and that desire to want better,
Yep.
um, to do better and receive better.
I couldn't agree more. Again, thank you so much, Janelle, for sharing that story. I know it's still somewhat fresh, so we definitely appreciate it. I'm just going to end by saying this. If you're a friend out there and you see your friend going through a certain situation that either is not great for them, it can be toxic in certain situations, have that conversation. Y'all best believe I done heard everything Janelle said before. Y'all best believe we did not have conversations. Like, she would bring stuff up and I'd be like, well, girl, it sounds like this and this and this. But your friends have to, go through things on their own, and they have to come up with their own decision. You can't like press them. But you can have that conversation and let your opinion be known. Don't be the mute friend that's just like, well, okay, like have the conversation and make it known, like, especially because I want the best for my friends, all my friends. I know Janelle has her man that's waiting in his shining armor and is gonna, do some great things and is gonna support her and love her and respect her and give her the best. He's out there somewhere. But in the meantime, like when I see guys that are coming through, or she's having conversations with me about guys and she bringing up something, I'm like, well, that don't sound right, and maybe he shouldn't be doing that. Like, I let my opinion be known, but again, your friends do have to go through their own situations. So don't be a mute friend. I do want to mention that.
Yes, and let me just say thank you for being so patient with me throughout the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna just say this because, well, MB knows I'm not. Again, I'm a very logical person, but sometimes you cannot decipher between the logic that you know and have when your feelings and emotions are involved.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people be like, "Oh, you dumb because you see it." Woo, woo, woo. It's not that, baby. But if you know and been being in love before, you be like, "Oh shoot, my feelings, my emotions, my
Right.
soul ties, all of
Mm-hmm.
that plays a key role
It's a
in
lot.
you dealing and taking shit that you shouldn't have to deal with, you
Mm-hmm.
know." And but MB knows it's been a process, and MB even knows when I started to really disconnect from this person. I was already in the process of disconnecting. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But this is what like put the nail in the coffin.
Right.
Because I've been saying this for months. Like, girl,
Yeah.
I'm good. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And best believe I stayed to my gun. Before this situation even happened, I stayed to my gun of what me and MB addressed. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm keeping my distance, girl. I'm keeping my distance. I'm doing good. Woo, woo, woo. And I was. But yeah, this was the final thing, and I was just like, you know what? this shit, it stunk like a motherfucker. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. You
Well,
know
girl,
what I'm saying?
it don't even matter. You gonna heal. You gonna process the situation,
Oh
and then
yes.
we going on our trip
But
in a month or so. So,
but what did I tell you though, MB? Like before the podcast even started, I was like,
uh-huh.
he was like, "Where are you at?" I said, "Shit, I'm good." Like, you know, and that I'm just a real transparent person. Again, this morning at 4 something this morning, I was feeling a little shitty. I ain't gonna lie, but by 3 o'clock today, I said, "Girl, I'm good. I ain't even,
Right.
I ain't phased by it." And the thing is, this has been very therapeutic for me. Speaking out loud. And I encourage friends to actually speak out loud. A lot of people go on silent mode and feel like, oh, I don't got nobody to talk to, because I did go back to that situation that I should never went to. Went back to, you know. But don't stay silent. Really be able to express yourself and be okay and trust the process. You gonna have your moments where you gonna hurt, you gonna cry, you gonna yell, you gonna scream. Hell, you might even want to do a drive by and fuck some shit up.
Right. Shoot, I'll be the friend in the car with the hat on and the sunglasses. Y'all know who I am in the car.
Hold on. Back in college, y'all, in undergrad, I actually did that. Okay, I was the one dressed in all black, helping my friend do her shenanigans. All right, and I'm just saying, thank God that he changed me. Okay,
girl, you ready? I got my black today. Shoot, I got on my black right now. I'm ready to go. Shoot, let me throw a jacket on.
Don't make me go get no hoodie right quick. But again, thank you, MV, for always being a good friend, a good supportive friend. You know, I love you.
Girl, you know I got you.
Of course.
Through it all.
Yeah, but that's it, y'all. That's all I wanted to share with y'all. Y'all have a good day. Homies, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Please make sure you guys tune in to Becoming the Podcast. Y'all can check us out on Instagram. Where else, MB?
Girl, just Instagram. And we stream everywhere, though. Our podcast is streamed everywhere.
Yeah, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Come check us out. If you guys want to DM us, please do so. Y'all can DM us too. We are happily to accept any DMs and be like, yes, we gonna put this on, and we will respond back to it.
Yes, I am in the DMs a lot. But yeah, if you guys want to just talk about this subject, I mean, I feel like it was so personal, specifically if you want to talk to Janelle, like going over to her Instagram. Mine personally is I'm just MB. If you want to talk to me a little bit more about any topic or just want to have a conversation, and then Janelle.
I'm at Beautiful J on Instagram.
Okay. And homies, we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye, you guys.